Hughies, choppers, whirlybirds, eggbeaters, whatever you call them, helicopters are cool, and nowhere did they fly higher than in 1980s television. From simple civilian rotary-wing aircraft to the most advanced gunships, here are the top 5 1980s television helicopters. TC's Tour Chopper, Hughes 500D from Magnum PI. If you are a daring private investigator from Hawaii in a constant state of adventure and peril, you are going to need more than just a Ferrari. You are going to need a buddy with a helicopter to get you out of tight jams. Magnum PI has such a friend in TC and his Hughes 500D. Most of the time, TC's light turbine helicopter is used to charter tourists eager to explore breathtaking views of the Hawaiian Islands via his company, Island Hoppers. However, the small chopper also comes in handy when Magnum wants to perform some aerial reconnaissance or needs an airlift out of a sticky situation. The aerial camera shots of TC's helicopter are among the most beautiful and iconic of the show, and the opener for one of the best intro themes in 1980s television. Do you want to take a ride in a Hughes over the islands yourself? You can book a charter on the Paradise Helicopter Tour's Magnum Experience. An interesting fact, the helicopter's iconic paint job, with its diagonal bands and bright colors, is not custom. The craft came that way. Screaming Mimi, Swarovski S58DT from Riptide. Magnum wasn't the only Vietnam War veteran turned private investigator to utilize a helicopter for adventure. Former Army buddies Cody and Rick had their hamstrung but steadfast Swarovski 58DT called Screaming Mimi. One look at it and you'll see where it gets its name. The chopper is painted pink with a gaudy, glaring mouth on the front and 2 green eyes on the sides. Could this be where Mimi from the Drew Carey Show got her look? Like TC, Nick often utilizes the Screaming Mimi for charter tours of Los Angeles as a side gig when not employing it for private investigative adventures. The Swarovski 58DT series was originally used as an Army transport in the 1960s. Although being depicted as an outdated surplus heap, the Swarovski is still used today as a utility chopper and wildfire fighter. The last known location, as far as I could find, of the original Screaming Mimi was with Summit Helicopter in Pocolima, California. Incidentally, like Magnum PI, the helicopter also introduces the show in Riptide's theme. The Auto Chopper, Bell 206 Jet Ranger from Automan. One would think that a holographic man from the cyber world who can change into different vehicles to help cops catch bad guys would be a surefire hit in 1983. However, this Tron-inspired series flopped and only lasted 1 season. That's a shame because the show was a lot of fun, and one of the most underrated gems of 1980s action television. One of the vehicles Automan could change into was the Auto Chopper. This helicopter was a Bell 206 Jet Ranger with a blue neon outline because, well, it was supposed to be a computer-generated helicopter. It had a very similar look to Dillinger's helicopter in Tron. Originally developed as a light observation craft for the military, the Bell 206 is still popular today among news outlets. You may likely get your local traffic report from a Bell 206. Blue Thunder, SA-41G Gazelles. I know what you're saying. Wait, Blue Thunder was a 1983 movie. I thought this list was about 80s action television shows. What you might not have known is that there was a TV show based on the film, which premiered in 1984. You might not know about it because it flopped after only 1 season. The TV show starred a young Dana Carvey as the stereotypical 80s nerdy, technically savvy sidekick. It also starred ex-football player Bubba Smith as the stereotypical 80s big guy mechanic. You might recognize him from the Police Academy movies. The helicopter itself was a French-made SA-341G Gazelles. I know what you're saying. Wait! The Blue Thunder helicopter looks nothing like an SA-314G Gazelles. Well, that's because they traded the bulbous canopy with one framed from an AH-64 Apache gunship to make it look more badass. Tricky! Airwolf, Bell 222. Now it's time for the mother of all 1980s action television helicopters, Airwolf. Fictionally, Airwolf is a stealthy, bulletproof, supersonic fighting machine and the most advanced military aircraft in the world. In reality, It is a civilian transport and utility helicopter called a Bell 222 that was repainted and augmented with props to give it a sleek, tactical look. A sad real-life story. After the show ended, the original Airwolf was reconverted back into a utility Bell 222 and sent to Germany. In 1992, it crashed into a mountain during a fog, killing the 3 occupants on board. Airwolf still lives on in California, however, atop a $250 million mansion in Bel Air, complete with orange Hermes and Louis Vuitton leather. The replica was originally produced for an aviation museum in Tennessee in 2006, which went defunct. The replica would eventually end up as a fixture of the egregiously extravagant mansion. Well, there you have it, the top 5 helicopters from 1980s action television. I hope you learned something and get a chance to check out these great 80s television shows again. Want more awesome 80s vehicles from 80s action TV? Check out our picks for the coolest 80s TV cars on the 80s and 90s Uncensored podcast. Until next time, I'll leave you with this quote. The helicopter is a fine way to travel, but it induces a view of the world that only God and CEOs share on a regular basis. Morley Safer.